but I want to share a few tips that I think I've learned in the last 8 days. There's a lot of people come here and think they need guides and porters and stuff, and even worse still, there's a lot of people that don't even come here because they're intimidated by it. It is really accessible here. You don't have to be from Chris Bonington or someone, and it really is an adventure. First one, having been up here for 2 days, is stay healthy. If you can keep healthy and not get ill, you're going to have a far better time here. The most basic thing is don't put your fingers near your mouth, and always wash your hands, and make sure you got hand sanitizer with you at all times after you've been to the toilet, before you eat a meal and everything. And even a lot of basic hotels here or hostels here have hand sanitizer on the tables. The next thing I think is keeping hydrated. It's very easy to forget to keep yourself hydrated, and it's one of the most important things really, as well as putting lip cream on and suntan cream on to stop getting burnt. Drinking about 250 millilitres of water every hour at the minimum is essential really to keep yourself in good shape. And the trouble is, sometimes you think, oh, you don't want to go for a wee, but you've got to go for a wee about every 3 hours or so, otherwise you're probably not drinking enough, I don't think. Feel free to comment on this, and you know, I might not be right, but these are my views, and I'm quite happy to listen to anybody else's thoughts as well. Porters carry stuff up here, see all the oxes bringing, and the mules bringing all the supplies up here. Drinking bottled water up here, I just think is a terrible thing to do. It involves so much haulage, but also the other thing is it makes so much litter and plastic. So we've not had any trouble drinking out of rivers or drinking out of taps here, but you do need to purify it. We've used a SteriPen, and that's seems to have been really effective and convenient to use. Other people use chlorine. Another way of doing it is get the water boiled, but again, boiling the water is very energy intensive, and getting all the gas up here or burning the wood is a use of resources probably prefer to see people avoid really. Now to me, another really simple way of avoiding getting ill from your food is just don't eat any meat, because there's no refrigeration here. I think if you start eating meat, you're really just rolling the dice and asking for trouble. Other people might say different, but we've travelled around India for 7 weeks now. We've been up here for over a week and haven't had a problem, and I'd put a lot of that down to not eating meat. Here's another contentious tip about keeping well. Avoid ill people. If people are coughing and choking, I would try and keep your distance from them. Avoiding altitude sickness is a major problem really. It's so tempting to walk too high and do too much, and then really regret it when it's too late. We bought DIOXINE pills down in Kathmandu really easily, and I did actually take one on the first day of all days, and I would certainly recommend buying those as a backstop. But the main thing is just don't ascend more than 300 meters a day really, and read up on altitude sickness and learn how to avoid it at all costs. But it is simple to avoid, so don't let it put you off coming here. Once you've managed to keep yourself fit and well, the next thing is staying as comfortable as possible. The obvious things are to pack to keep warm, so gloves, hat, down jacket, fleece, layer up with things, and have some long trousers, and I bought waterproof trousers just in case. But on the other hand, you've got to balance it out, because every extra kilogram of luggage you bring here, if you're carrying it yourself, you will feel it. So try and pack as light as possible and avoid bringing anything that you're not going to really need. I've spent a fair bit of money on some shoes and socks, and they've been lovely over the last week, well worth spending over 100 quid on. The other thing is that we went to Shona's in Kathmandu and bought a down sleeping bag for about 100 bucks, and that has been absolute comfort to sleep in as well. So the next thing is navigation. We went off the main trails a little bit, and this can mean that you're walking for several hours without seeing anybody and without coming across a tea shop. The tea shops are everywhere on the main trails. So We took some energy bars and some gel, and if any of you in your party are getting a little bit worn out, I've seen an energy bar and some gel absolutely do transformations to how they feel. So I definitely have a bit of a supply of emergency gels and stuff like that. Really like to carry, and really great pick me up. Now, navigation is not a big issue on the main trails because places are signed, there's plenty of people to ask and stuff like that. But if you are going off the main hiking trails, navigation is absolutely essential. If you're no good at navigating yourself, don't go off the main trails. But we went on a few little local trails and things, and it was really good fun. We had a good local map, and we used maps.me as a backup as well. Another thing that we did was we worked out how long it took to climb 100 meters, and that was a good way of estimating how long your walks were going to take. So always keep a record of how long your walks take and compare them to what they were going to be estimated on maps.me and on the local guidebooks and things, and that'll help stop you biting off more than you can chew with a bit of luck. It may seem a bit simple, but I did bring a compass with me, and it really does give you good reassurance that you're heading in the right direction on your map. Pre-planning is really important, and Alison spent days and days planning out our trip, but it's still really important to keep your plans flexible, because once we got here, you learn more about what's going on, you find out what your abilities are, and we've changed our plans 2 or 3 times now, and it's always worked out for the better. The last 2 things are, don't be one of these people that just come here and want to do Everest base camp just to tell all their mates they've done it. Hopefully you'll be somebody who's interested in walking and hiking anyway. So do some training and learn a bit of navigation before you come here, and that'll pay dividends once you arrive, because you'll be able to go to more places and do more things. And the other thing is that don't be a skinflint. I'm a skinflint. And you lose track of what's going on. You start thinking, oh, a room's $5 a night, and then when you're offered one for $15 or $30, you start thinking it's a rip-off. Well, it's the price of a round of drinks at home, and as you pay more for most things here, you do still get good value, because if you pay more for a room, you probably get somewhere more comfortable, and if you pay more for your food, you probably get slightly better food as well. So don't lose perspective of how much you're paying. Sometimes you start getting the right mix up, and it's only over the price of a pint, and you're not going to come back here for a while, so it's all money well spent. And so tell me if you think that's crap advice. Well, let's discuss it and find the right things to do. But if it's been useful to you, please comment or like this video, and thanks very much for watching. We'll see what happens on the rest of our trip on the way down now.